Welcome back to this Doom 3 editor series. Today's episode looks at how to construct various hallways using patch meshes. We'll look at curved hallways, barrel vaulted ceilings, curved vaulted ceilings, and groin vaulted ceilings. If you haven't already subscribed, now's as good a time as ever, so click that subscribe button as it really helps us out. Otherwise, leave a comment below the video or click the like-dislike button. For alerts when we post new videos, click the notification button, or drop by the channel, Tom's World, for a neighborly visit and for a list of all our content. If you've ever wondered how the Doom 3 game was built, stay with us as we explore the fascinating world of video game level design in the Doom 3 editor. Hey, so welcome back to our weekly Doom 3 editor session. We're gonna keep it a little bit light today. We're gonna concentrate mostly on brushwork. Lots and lots of patch meshes today. We're gonna do a curved hallway. We're gonna do a vaulted ceiling. We're gonna do a curved vaulted ceiling, and we're gonna do what's called a groin vault. So no scripting today. You can all breathe a sigh of relief. So you can put your feet up. You get some popcorn or some chips or whatever peanuts that you eat when you watch, and kick back and let's have a look at some brushwork. Now, as I just showed you, I've just drawn a simple box map with my depth textures on it, just a player spawn and light. And this is actually a big no-no. Now, you'll see why I did this. I did it mostly to expedite the process because I don't want to do a lot of brushwork on and off camera today. But normally, if we go back to, let's see here, our decals map, right? This is the one that we did the spooky hallway. And let me just minimize this and maximize this. Oh, and just let me talk just a second about occlusion. I bring it up every once in a while. I just want to describe what it is. You can see as we kind of scroll around here that stuff sort of disappears. And that's done for optimization purposes. Now, basically what it's doing is that when the camera gets to a certain distance, that is, objects are a certain distance from the camera and farther, they do not render. And that's just a way of kind of saving rendering. And this was actually a big beef in Battlefield 5. You'd be running around the map, you'd be running up to a checkpoint, there'd be nobody standing there, and all of a sudden, boom, a guy would pop in as you get closer. And they did that just so when you're far away, you don't have to render all the little characters and everything. But sure, it works great for optimizing, but you know, it doesn't work great for gameplay. But that's occlusion, so I just wanted to explain that. So if we take our little map here with our spooky hallway and we hide the roof real quick here, you can see that the brushwork that seals everything in is quite tight, right, to the patch meshes. And that's the way you want to do it. You don't want to have a big, huge room surrounding everything. That is a no-no. You will not find that in any of the id maps. It's kind of lazy mapping. I mean, you could do it, but, you know, again, kind of best practices says you should draw as, you know, small brushes as possible, just so the engine doesn't have to render them. Yeah, the argument is they're cock brushes. I get that. But again, you know, best practices. Try to always have your brushwork tight. So really, this is the way I should be doing it, and I'm going to get a little bit lazy, as you'll see in a minute, but I'm just doing that to save time for the video. So let's get out of here. Let's go back to our hall map. Okay, so there we are. All right, so let's start with a simple curved hallway like we did in our little spooky hallway. So I'm going to start down here. I'm going to get my cock texture here, and I'm just going to draw out a brush. And I think the size I'm going to do is 192 times 384. That just kind of, it's a good dimension for a hallway like this. It might be a little big, but I kind of like it. You know, again, you can experiment with this, so it'll work for you. Okay, so let's jump over there. There's that brush. So let's turn that into a simple patch mesh. We'll go up here, simple patch mesh. 3x3 is fine for this. I'm going to clone it, and I'm going to just flip it on the Z-axis. And notice the orientation of how I'm doing this, because this is how this, you know, will fit together nicely. If you notice that this patch mesh that I've got selected is 3 major grid units across, so I've put 1, 2, 3 units there and 1, 2, 3 units there. Okay, so 9 by 9, or yeah, 9 square units here. And this orientation helps us get a nice curve. So, all right, so I'm going to select that patch mesh there, and it's occluding on us. Okay, there we go. I can kind of see it in the render window. And I'll zoom in. Okay, so there we are. Let's hit V for our vertex. We're going to select those vertex there, and we're going to pull them down here. Deselect, reselect these ones, and this has to be about halfway. I think I've hit it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's halfway. Okay, good. And then we'll pull this one over here. And remember, there's Well, there's not two there now, but so. Okay, so you can just drag it or you can just click it. Make sure it turns blue and then the vertices is selected. Okay, let's deselect that one. Let's grab this one. Let's move it up here. And you can see it's equidistant right here and there. And that's how you get a nice shape. So let's deselect that one. We'll grab this middle one. And we'll move it up here. And just kind of make it nice so it fits nice. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, and you know what? We could texture this. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, done. Now, what we're going to do, we need these sides here, right here. So we're just going to select our caulk brush again. We're just going to draw the brush. Doesn't matter what size it is because we're going to resize it. We want to come up here to patch, and we want to hit this, where is it here? Bevel. There it is there, bevel. Okay, and if we just look in the render window, you can see what a bevel is. All right, and let's flip it around here so it's orientated correctly. And all we have to do, and we can resize it, you can see we can just drag it like a brush and just resize it so it fits the sides. Okay, so let's go there. All right, and you know you've got it done properly when there's no spaces here, okay? That brush has to fit that bevel perfectly. So make sure those edges are nicely aligned. That has to fit perfectly. Make sure there's no gaps there. If there's gaps there, you haven't done it properly. So let's grab that bevel real quick. Let's hide everything else. It's a little hard to see in the render window, but let's go ahead and we'll do that. And you can resize these bevels. And tall-wise, well, I think 128 is always a nice size. There it is there. And I got to fix the texture, so hit S for Surface Inspector. And I normally go, let's go natural for now. Natural. There we go. Oh, let's flip it because I like to make sure everything makes sense. Okay, there it is there. All right, so we got that inner curve. Now, all we have to do, okay, it's not touching the floor properly, so let's move it up. There it is. Now, all we have to do here in the top view is clone it, and we should be able to just drag it over and be able to resize it. Now, the other thing is, too, is if it's not matching up perfectly with the floor, it also might not be because you haven't got it orientated properly here. Like if it's out, say, like that, see, you might be going, why isn't it fitting? It's just because it's not sized properly. So just make sure you get it sized properly. Now, if you remember, patch mesh is only rendered on one side, so we've got the texture side on that wrong. So let's select that. Let's come up here to patch mesh. And let's go to matrix and invert, and then that'll flip it on the inside. Okay, there we go. All right, we got that. Now, let's just texture this real quick here. So let's go to S, and I'm going to give it that little texture I like. Now, this is where we have to mess with it a little bit to make it look nice. That's okay, but it doesn't look right. Let's go to S, Surface Inspector, and then height of 2 would be nice, and height of 5 would be nice. So let's see here. Okay, so there it is. So we did the height of 2, so we can see the texture fits there twice, right? 1, 2, and then 5. Now this is the one you have to kind of mess with. I mean, if we go 10, for example, here, and we hit enter, you can see it's okay. It's kind of okay. But I think these dimensions are really kind of up to your taste. I think 5 looks a bit nicer. It's a little bit too busy. So let's go back there, S. Let's go 5 here, and that's kind of nice. Now you will notice that because this brush is bent, it will stretch the textures a little bit, so you got to mess with that. I mean, it's a compromise, right? You could make this out of a model and, you know, texture properly and everything else, but if you just want to do it out of brushwork, just do it this way and it works fine. Most mappers are not going to complain. Okay, so let's grab that one. Let's texture it. Let's go back to Surface Inspector. 5.2 should be okay. All right, we can see that that's looking pretty good. Now again, this is brushwork. You know, take your time, make it look nice. I'm not going to spend tons of time doing it because obviously you don't want to see me resizing meshes here or textures here. So finally, let's put a roof on this guy. So we can just clone that, and we could just move it up. There we go. And texture's on the wrong side, so we'll go up to our patch mesh, we'll go up to the matrix, we'll go up to invert, there it is there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it into that big room just because, again, I don't want to have to, you know, sit here and draw all these caulk brushes to seal this so we could run around inside it. So let's just grab all these, and let's move them into our map. And we'll just put it 1 unit above so we don't get our Z fighting. So let's go 1 unit up. There we go. And then, of course, we're going to need a light here because we're not going to be able to see in there. Okay, so let's move our camera over here. There we go. Yeah, let's put a little light in there so we can see what's going on. Okay, so light. Right click on the mouse button, go down to light, put it in there. Let's make sure it's in the hallway. There we are, nice. Let's crank it down a little bit. It's going to be super intense. And we'll bring it down to about there. Apply, okay. And actually, what we could do, we're going to save it. We can actually see a quick render of it if we want to save time. There we go. But it's going to be more interesting going inside the map. So again, I'm just going to save it to make sure. Let's BSP. Let's go into that map hall. And then we should see our little curved hallway. Okay, there it is. Now don't forget, patch meshes aren't rendering on that outside, so there it is there. And there's a little curved hallway. It's a little low. Well, the guy can't quite hit his head when he jumps, but okay, so there's our curved hallway. Let's jump back into the map and let's have a look at vaulted ceilings. Okay, so let's look at a vaulted ceiling. I just want to move this thing over so we have some room in here. Can we grab that light? What's going on? Give me that light. There we go. Let's just move this over here so it's out of the way. Okay, so that's good there in the corner. Okay, so let's look at making a vaulted ceiling. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start out with a caulk brush down here. And I'm going to go with the same size just because, again, that kind of works for a hallway. It's up to your taste if you want to make it bigger or smaller. Don't go too much smaller, obviously, but yeah, 192 times 384. There we go there. Let's get our camera over there. I want my camera over there, not the Z. Okay, there we go. So there's a brush. Whoops, 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 whoops. Kind of getting a little bit crazy on the keyboard here. Okay, so there's that brush. Now we're going to turn that into a patch mesh again with just one difference. Normally go 3 by 3. I want 5 here, and we'll see that in a moment why. Okay, there it is there. Let's go to the front view. And if we hit our vertices, we can see we have 5 vertices across now, right? So what we want to do is grab that middle one, and we're going to move it up here and keep it centered. And we're going to come up 96. Is that what I like? Yeah, 96 seems to be nice. Okay, there it is there. Just again, make sure you don't move it left and right, straight up 96. Okay, there it is there. We're going to grab this middle one. We're going to move it up here. Again, so it's equidistant there and there. Okay, good. And we're going to grab this one. We're going to grab that one, bring that up there. Okay, so that's nice. Okay, there we have a nice tube now. Now we're on the texture's on the wrong side. So again, patch, matrix, invert. There we go. And basically, there's our vaulted ceiling. Okay, now there's a texture here that I've already brought in, but let me show you where it is. If I can remember where it is, that is. Okay, so it's in textures, and we got to go to hell. Where are we? Hell. And if you come down here, there are these bricks, right? Brick 2C, brick 2. There's a few of them in here. And these work nice for this. Now, you can put a futuristic texture on there too, but these kind of bricks look nice. So I've already loaded one in here. Oh boy, I just loaded them all in there. Okay, anyways, we'll grab that and we'll just go bricks. And again, what we want to do is we want to get that texture to be a nice size. So let's start off with 1 by 1. It's just going to look ugly, but we'll see. Actually, you know what we should do? We should go to natural. There we go, natural. Nice. Okay, that should be good. All right. Okay, so let's move that into our map and let's have a look to see what that looks like. There it is there. I could kind of put it at an arbitrary height. Oops. Kind of hard to grab, but okay, we'll put it there. Well, a little bit lower, I guess. Actually, you can go quite low. Because don't forget, you have that height of that thing. All right, we got to put a light in there just so we could see it. So let's go ahead, put another light in. Put it down there just so we could see. Yeah, it's okay. And just let's crank down the intensity to there. And you know what? Let's give it a kind of a warm glow look to it. There we go. Apply, okay. And let's go to the map. There it is there. And we could kind of render it just to kind of have a quick look at it. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to actually cut the video. I'm going to put some sides on it just so we kind of run through it. It'll be kind of cool. So just give me one moment and I'm just going to cut the video and I'll be right back. Okay, I mean, I put sides on. It didn't take very long. I probably should have did it on camera, but just simple patch meshes on either side there and there. So let's run into the map here real quick. And we'll have a look and see what that looks like. All right, where is it? Here it is. Let's run over there. Okay, and so there's our vaulted ceiling. Now you can see that actually our texture is not done right here. It's going, the bricks are going vertical over there and horizontal there. So let's fix that. Could hit S, and we could rotate this 90. Hit OK. Do the same thing for that one. S, go up here to rotate 90. Oh, did it do it? No, it didn't. Okay, S, rotate 90, hit enter. There we go. Okay, let's save that. BSP. And actually, why don't we move our player spawn over here so we don't have to run all the way over there. Okay, there it is. Okay, save. BSP. Let's go back into the map. You spend more time fiddling around than we do actually mapping. Okay, there we go, and that fits better. I mean, if you like it the other way, vertical, horizontal, whatever, do it, but that's that. Okay, so that's a nice vaulted ceiling. You don't actually see that in the Doom 3 game. The only reason I wanted to show it was back in the day when we were mapping, this was kind of the Valhalla to get these curved you know, hallways. And if you do have a sort of a creepy section, this is actually works out really well. Now, you'll notice that these things are fairly simple. You could, you know, put cross members here and build up little bulkheads and this, that, and the other. You know, use your imagination. I think once you get these fundamentals, you can kind of gussy this up and make it a little bit more fancy. But just as a kind of a basic, you know, quick tutorial on how to make these things, I think that will suffice. So we can leave that now. So I think what we're going to do is have a look at how we can make this sort of vaulted ceiling but curved. So let's have a look at that now. Okay, so let's take a look at how to make a curved barrel vault. I think I've been calling this a vaulted ceiling. I think technically it's what it's really called is a barrel vault because it kind of looks like a half of a barrel, right? All right, so let's go into our barrel vault original one here. I just moved a bit down out of the way here into my big box map. Let's clone that and let's bring it up here. And let's put it on a major grid line. Let's clone that again, and then let's shift it 90 degrees on the Z. Now, we're going to do a lot of rinse and repeat here. If you remember in our first curved hallway, this here thing, okay, is 3 major grid units across, 192, 1, 2, 3. So again, my orientation here is 3 apart and 3 up, right? So that's a 9 square. Again, this orientation just helps us get a good curve here. I mean, if this is up here or there, you know, it's not going to work properly. So I always get the orientation right to begin with. Okay, same lesson. We grab that guy here, go F, grab our vertices, bring it down here. Deselect it, grab that vertices, bring it here into the middle. Okay, I gotta mess with that middle because I'm not sure I've hit it in the middle, but okay, and let's go here. Good. Let's grab this one, bring it up here. Oh, didn't quite hit it. Come on. Yeah, there's 2 of them there, so make sure you get them both. There it is. Deselect, grab this one, bring it up here, make it nice. There we go, perfect. Okay, and just this middle one, I want to make sure I've got this right. So is that the center there? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 1, 2. That's the center there. Okay, so let's just make sure we have them all deselected. Bring that down. Okay, perfect. Let's bring our camera over here. All right, now we should have a nice curved hallway. Now, if you remember, guys, way back in that tutorial on pipes, when we were doing all that pipe work, you guys were probably yawning and rolling your eyes and thinking, Tom, those are just pipes. What's the big deal? But those lessons, look at what it's brought us to, these magnificent archways. So let's grab this guy here. Actually, let's grab this. And let's kind of make some ends to it. There we go. Might be a bit too big. Let's grab all 3 of these. Let's move them into our box map. We're running out of room in our box map. I was hoping to be able to fit everything in here, but we're not going to be able to fit everything in here. Okay, let's put that down there. I think it's running into our player spawn, but we'll be okay. All right, and just want to see the height. Yeah, it's good there. Okay, there we go. I think we're running into our player spawn, so let's get him out of there. Let's put him over here. All right, we got to put a light in here. So, actually, probably a couple lights in here. So let's do that real quick. So we could light this up. So J, I'll make it a little bit longer on the Z. Yeah, let's say 400. So that's Z. Y could be a little bit smaller, so 200. And Z's probably too tall, but Z we can go 200 too. Okay, there we go. Apply. Nice. Let's make sure it's centered in there. There we go. And we need one more light, so let's go ahead and put that in there real quick. It's a bit of a pain, but we're not going to see it otherwise. You know what? I think, well, I can get away with that. So we'll go Z. We just need a 200. Y could be a little longer, so let's go 400. And Z we can do 200. Okay, apply. Okay. Okay, that's good. So where are we here? We want to jump into our map, get the camera view over there. There we go. I can actually do a quick render here just to have a look at it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. All right, I'm going to put some sides on this. And again, just using our bevel and our patch meshes. I am going to cut it because it's just going to take a couple of minutes to put these bevels in here. So let me just cut it. I'll tidy this up. I'll put some sides on this and we'll have a look to see what it looks like. Okay, hang on. Okay, so just off screen, I put in some of the sides. So I just put in this little guy down here and this little guy down here, if I can actually select it, just so it went all the way down to the floor. And then I also put in this one and that one. And we looked at that same thing with the bevels that I did in the first curved hallway. So I just tidied it up a little bit to kind of finished it off. And I just adjusted the lights again to give us that warm glow. So let me just BSP this and let's run in here and have a quick look to see what that little curved hallway looks like. And this is kind of a barrel vault with a curve in it. So, okay, so where are we here? Okay, so this is what it looks like. And you can see it fits nicely together. I haven't got it perfect. Okay, it still needs a little bit of work. That one there, I have to orient it properly, which I didn't do. But, you know, take your time, make it look nice. Okay, there it is there. And, yeah, it's looking pretty good, actually. And then, you know, if you want to kind of have some dungeons or a basement or something like that, this would be ideal. I'll show you some, there are the candle models that I can show you and a couple of torches you can put in here. But again, if you want to put bulkheads or members that go across and kind of gussy it up a little bit, that's totally up to you. But that's the fundamental of a barrel vault with a curve that's a 90-degree. So let's look finally at what's called a groin vault. So let's have a look at that now. So off screen, all I did was I just cloned my little box map here and just moved everything we've built over there just to give us some room here because we're going to need a little bit of room for the next little bit. So let's have a look at how to make a groin vault. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our simple barrel vault here if we can. There it is there. I'm just going to clone it. I'm going to drag it out here where we can work on it. And let's put it on a major grid line. Okay, there we go. I always like to work on major grid lines whenever I can. Okay, so there it is. Now, barrel vault. Let's move our camera over there. Okay, so we start off with a simple barrel vault. Okay, we already showed how to do that. And what we want to do is we want to establish a halfway point between 192. So our width is 192. And you'll see what I'm getting at here in a second. So I'm just going to draw a reference brush. So half of 192 is 96. So I'm going to draw a brush. It's 96 by 96. And I'm going to put it right here on the edge. And this is just giving me a center point width-wise and height-wise. And it's important because we have to get this right. Okay, so there that is. So we're going to select that little barrel vault. We're going to hit our V for vertices. And we're going to grab this middle one right here. And we're going to pull it up right to that point there. Okay. Let's get rid of that reference brush. We don't need it anymore. And that's how we get one of our intersections for our groin vault. Now, the one thing I do want to show here is when we stretch this vertices here, this one where my mouse is circling, you get a kind of a wonky thing in the texture. It's kind of hard to see here. So what I should probably do is render it and go inside it and show you what I'm getting at here. So let's just move this over into our map. Okay, that's good where it is. Let's move it down here, put it on a major grid line. Let's put it down here. Okay, good. And we should put a light in there as well, because otherwise we're not going to see. So let's throw in a quick light here. And I'm just going to adjust that light real quick. Okay, I know you guys hate watching me adjust lights, but, you know. And I've been saying Z all the time, but I mean X for this axis. So, okay, it doesn't have to be very wide. Let's go say, I don't know, 120. And for tall, that's fine. And then Z, we don't need that tall. So let's go, I don't know, 180. Apply. This is just so we can see what we're doing in here. Okay, so that's done. Now we want to move our camera over here. Let's jump over here with our camera. There we are. And I can kind of render this, I guess. I'm going to save it. We don't have to actually go into the game, but let's see if we just can't render it here in the window. And I'll see what I'm getting at here with these wonky textures. Okay, so you can see here that we kind of get this ripply effect, this wrinkle effect here. And that's because we've grabbed that one vertices and pulled it. So how you can fix that is if we just grab it, if we can. Sometimes patch meshes are kind of hard to grab. You got to grab them from the outside. So let's hide everything else, make it easy for ourselves. So what we want to do is we want to grab this guy here. We want to go into a surface inspector. We want to subdivide that patch. And let's just make sure we still have a nice barrel shape here. Okay, we do. You can see it's still nice and round. Okay, so just right there, you can see it's nice and round. So what we want to do is we want to adjust this, one of these surfaces, this one here. You can see I'm adjusting it. Don't go crazy. You don't want to go all the way up to 32. But what you want to do is just do it enough to fix that wrinkling. So it seems to me like 6 looks pretty good. So let's hit OK. And you can see the wrinkling is more or less gone. So you just have to mess with that subdivision on those patch meshes. Okay, so now to finish this off, what we could do is go to our top view. And this is kind of the shape you want these here cross sort of subdivisions. That's the way it should look. And then those textures should be nice. So what we want to do is take that guy, just clone him and move him sideways. There we go on the Z-axis. And then just butt it up against there nicely. Now we can grab 2 of them, do that. Move it on the Z-axis, butt it up there nicely. See how fast it goes once you got it all figured out? See, those reference brushes help a lot. Okay, so let's unhide everything. Did I put a light in there? I did. Let's see how we could do this. We could put this light here, I guess, for now. This is what we want to see here. So let's just save this right now real quick. And let's just do a quick render here. And you can see it fits together nicely. So, and more or less the zipper effect is gone. Still there a little bit. I think we could have subdivided a little bit more, but it's not too bad. I think we can kind of let that go, I guess. We cloned it 3 times. Now I want to fix every single one of them. Tell you what, I'm going to fix it. So off camera, I'm going to add sides to this. I'm going to tamper with the lights a little bit to make it nice. I'm going to fix up the textures a little bit more, and we'll come back and we'll have a final look. Okay, so stand by. Alright, so just off screen I kind of tidied everything up and finished it off. So what I did was I just added sides. If you just see I highlighted them there, I put the sides in. I fixed all the textures nicely. I did adjust the lighting to give us a warm glow, and I also put in a couple of models in here, and I'm just going to select them and I'll show you what models they are real quick. If I go into the entity window, it's just a func static. I'll zoom in here so you can see what the model is, but it's models, map objects, hell, site 3, arch vial temple / candle, and there's a bunch of them in that area. If you just look around that file folder, arch temple, there's a bunch of candles in there that you can use. Some of them glow, some of them don't. And then the other one I put in there's kind of like a torch. It's a torso torch. It's actually quite gross, but and here it is, the model. It's just a func static with a model attached. We've seen how to do that before in other videos. And this one's model, map objects, hell, torches, torso. And we'll go into the map and we'll have a look. So unfortunately, that's about it for lighting in these sort of organic hallways. But let's show that real quick and let's have a final run through in this groin vault here. So BSP, there we go. Let's go into the map. Hall. And when it's all finished, it looks kind of like this. So there it is, kind of has that nice glow. It's too dark, obviously you would pump the lighting down or put a little spot lighting in there to make it a bit more creepy, but I wanted to crank up the lighting just so you could see. And you can see by adjusting the texture scaling, we can get rid of that sort of wrinkle effect. Now, it still kind of does distort a little bit here, and again, it is a give and take, and it's not unusual to think that architects or stonemasons would have cut the stone this way, so I think it's okay. But you can see it fits together just beautifully. I mean, his intersection of 4 barrel vaults looks great. So there's a candle, and again, we could adjust the light to make it look like the candle's lighting it up. And then this torso thing, I mean, it's really gross, but you know, it works. And you just adjust the color of the light, put the light over here near this thing to make it look, and flicker it, use a texture on it. Again, you know, use your imagination, gussy it up a little bit, but that's the basics. So I think that'll conclude the video for now. So I hope this was of use to you. That can add a little bit of flair to your maps. You don't have to have all those futuristic textures and shapes. And this gives a little bit of variety and shows how to build a number of different curved hallways using patch meshes. Thank you for watching, and please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more Doom 3 editor videos coming up in the next few weeks. And make sure to follow our Doom 3 playthrough for exciting gameplay and funny commentary. So make sure you stay well and all the best.